was 50 years ago this month when the former F.W. Woolworth store on Marion's town square would be overrun by apparitions and Halloween ghoulies, determined to make the Halloween season spooktacular for Marion residents and downtown merchants alike. Promoted as a downtown haunting, the Haunted House and Halloween event was organized as a fundraiser for the Marion J.C.'s Club. Hosted in previous years in various locations such as the Elks Club and the former Bracey's grocery store on Main Street, but it was the 1974 event in the closed Woolworth store that would be their most successful. So much so that during research for this episode, I encountered a surprising number of people who were eager to share their memories of an event that happened 50 years ago. In 1974, as today, the building located at 602 Tower Square Plaza was undergoing extensive renovations after being purchased by local businessman Waylon Sims, who converted the 1930s era five and dime store into the high-end furniture gallery known as Distinctive Interiors. One of the oldest, if not the oldest structure on Marion's town square, a brick structure by the name of the Dunaway Building, appears on the Sanborn Fire Map as early as 1886. Replacing an earlier structure of unknown date, the local paper, the Egyptian Press Weekly, followed the progress of construction in 1884, sharing details of the building's ground floor retail spaces, as well as many stories about the exquisite interior of the Dunaway Opera House, which was to occupy the entire second floor of the building. Originally, the Dunaway Building was constructed adjacent to one of at least 8 natural springs that were located around early Marion. Initially used as a water source by locals, by the time of construction of the Dunaway Building, the water source had been diverted for use by the mule and horse barn that was located just south of the building across the alley. After more than 130 years of renovations and additions to the original building, the source of the spring is now located in the lower level of the structure where it still flows today. By 1902, the second floor of the Dunaway Building was being converted into the home of the newly organized Benevolent and Protective Order of Elks, Marion Lodge number 800. As reported in the 1905 Souvenir History of Williamson County, the former Opera House of the Dunaway Building has been fitted up in a substantial and attractive manner. The addition of electric lights and fans have much improved the space, and great planning went into the addition of a fine dining and billiards room, both appointed with upholstered furnishings and custom carpeting throughout. The description is detailed enough that the reader only needs to close their eyes and they can imagine the luxurious space overlooking the hustle and bustle of a turn-of-the-century Marion town square. In 1908, the Elks vacated the space when they moved into their new lodge on South Market Street. With only a few historical mentions, it appears that the space next spent many years as what has to be the town's first library. Not a library like the Free City Carnegie Library we are familiar with today, but an early membership-based library where you paid for the privilege of borrowing books and other media of the day. The February 1916 dedication of the Carnegie Library on South Market Street is believed to have been the end of the membership library on the square. Other than a few city directories, little is known about the building and the former opera house turned library until 1926, when the Dunaway Building and the adjacent property to the west would be combined to create the town's first F.W. Woolworth and Company 5 and dime store. The largest store of its kind in Marion at the time, the 1927 grand opening of the 7,000 square foot store became one of a growing number of outside commercial investments that developed Marion's downtown retail district in the early 1900s. It would be the 1926 renovation that would give the building the architectural details we are familiar with today. Art Deco in its styling, the building's tiled roof and cornice of glazed brick are but the latest facade of the 130-year-old structure. A closer look at this exposed cross-section of the building's northern wall reveals multiple layers of brick that coincide with the multiple layers of the building's history. Today, the Dunaway Building is in the home stretch of a multi-year long renovation as the former 5 and dime becomes the new home of the Seasoning Bistro, a unique eatery with a fresh menu of chef-inspired dishes. The folks at Seasoning Bistro will be offering spirits as well, but they'll be far different than the spirits you would have found here in 1974. This is Sean Vincelette, and that is one of the stories of Marion, Illinois.